All right, welcome back. We continue right here with the nightly sports call. Bordas and Bordas Hotline 412-575-2600. Apologies for the voice. Still trying to get it back. It's on its way back, but in the meantime, I'm giving you my Lou Rawls Barry White impersonation. Bottom line is, look forward to your calls tonight. Let's go right to them. Steve in Beltsu, you're first. What's up, Steve? How you doing?
Hello, Bob. How are you?
I'm good, thanks. How are you?
I'm fine. I want to make a statement, then I want to ask you a question. I'm so sick of hearing this Martavius Bryant thing. I really wish people would let that go now. And I also want to say that y'all keep saying that give it to Le'Veon Bell, give it to Le'Veon Bell, but Le'Veon Bell is really not the whole team. And I also want to know, don't you think that the Steelers should use a 5-receiver route? This way they would score a little bit more higher points than they've been getting.
Steve, let me ask you about your first point about Martavius Bryant. What's your point? Well, you hung up, I think. Anyway, I just wanted to find out what you're sick of. Is it him? Is it them? Is it whatever? I think Martavius Bryant's going to be a big part of their second half season. I think he has to. You can't survive if you're going to be a playoff team and a Super Bowl team with just 2 receivers. And I don't see anyone has stood up to become the 3 and 4 with Bryant not there last week. They still need him. They need Juju Smith-Schuster. They need him. They need, to a lesser degree, Eli Rogers. But they need more help than just Antonio Brown and Juju Smith-Schuster. As far as Le'Veon Bell is concerned, he is the workhorse. He's the guy. Now, I think with back-to-back games coming up in a span of 4 days, I think you may see James Conner a little bit more. At least you should. This is after Indianapolis. They have a home game on Thursday night against Tennessee, so that might be a good opportunity to get more playing time for a guy like Conner. Brad in Duncansville. Hello, Bradley. How are you tonight? Brad. Oh, what happened to you, Brad? Randy is up next. What's up, Randy? How are you?
Good. How are you, Bob?
Okay, thanks.
After the Michigan State guy kicked that field goal, James Franklin seemed to run after one of his players after the game. Could you tell me why?
I didn't see that. I saw the field goal, and then we were watching other games. I didn't see that. So what exactly happened? He ran after one of his players for what?
I don't know. I don't know if he was trying to bring his players back on the field or what happened, but he just went crazy, and he was running after one of his players, and the announcers didn't say anything. I was just wondering why he did that.
I don't know. I wasn't there, and honestly, I didn't see that play. What I did see today was Saquon Barkley being ineffective, and I also saw the coaching staff only give him the ball 17 times.
Yes, thanks, Bob.
I'm sorry. All right, thank you. I think you got to give the ball a lot more to Saquon Barkley. He was a guy who you talk about Le'Veon Bell getting the ball a lot. Well, this is your Le'Veon Bell, and he is your Heisman candidate. He is your best player. In a game like today, I think he deserved to have it much more than he did. Let's go to Dave in Carnegie. What's up, Dave? How are you? Welcome to Sports Call.
Hi, Bob. I just want to say I think that you know it and I know it. Penn State's way overrated, and I'm so glad this happened to Franklin because of his smart comment he used about Pitt being like playing Akron. Remember that?
Yep.
They had him on YouTube. Well, he got what he deserves, and I'm so glad they're not going to be in the playoffs. And he's overpaid. He's going to get $32 million on a 6-year deal. Are you kidding me? He hasn't beaten any team. He's 0-10 on the road, playing anybody with any contention. They're overrated. You know it. I know it. Good night.
Well, I mean, you may think that. What I saw last year was a team that rebounded from a slow start, a coach who was on the hot seat, and he turned that into an unbelievable season. Whether or not you want to give him credit for that or not, that's up to you. I do. I think that's a sign that a coach can turn things around. I didn't like the Akron comment at all. I also didn't like Pitt and Pat Narduzzi coming out with hail to Pitt as soon as they lose last week. I think that's a little childish and, quite frankly, not necessary. But I guess in this Twitter world, that kind of stuff goes on. But I think they're a program that certainly is top heavy. I think they have some really good players who have carried that team, and that's fine. But I think give them credit. You know, I think it's too easy just to say, well, they're overrated, they stink, and he's not going to be worth $32 million. Bottom line is he turned that season around. You could have argued they could have gotten in the playoff last year. I thought their start this year was good. You know, they should have beaten Ohio State. They didn't, and I thought that was on him. I thought they got way too conservative, and they allowed Ohio State to get in it. Whatever you want to say. I choose to look at it from a different objective point of view, I think. Let's go to Brad in Duncansville. What's up, Brad? How you doing?
Good, Bob. How are you?
Good. What's up?
I have a part question for you about the McCutcheon thing,
Mm-hmm.
and another question about the Pirates. Like when you pick up an option after this year, does that mean the Pirates are going to probably trade him?
No, that means his contract ends now. This is the last deal, and it will end at the end of the season. He's a free agent to go anywhere he so chooses. That's why they will trade him before it reaches that, in my opinion.
And do you think the Pirates will get the third baseman from the Athletics, Ryan, whatever? I can't pronounce his last name.
No, I think their third baseman will be Jung Ho Gang. I think he'll be back, and I think this whole thing eventually will get solved. I'm surprised it's taken this long, to be honest with you, Brad, but it is what it is. It's taken a lot longer than I could have ever imagined. Let's go to Ron in South Hills. Hey, Ron, how you doing?
Hey, Bob, hardest working guy in sports. I was with your brother actually last night, and he told me about your voice.
Yeah.
I'm glad the Steelers are off this weekend, so you have a little break.
There's not much of a break, but I'm trying to make it, just
I
hopefully
know.
get back. But thanks.
I don't want you to talk too much here. So
Thanks,
let
good.
me
I hope
ask
you just continue. Yeah, the stage is yours. Go ahead.
a couple quick hitters, and I miss you, by the way. I haven't seen you for a while.
Thanks.
A couple of things. Just wanted to see, as far as the Steelers are concerned, if you think they might finish out 12-4. I think it's very possible with a lot of the home games. 2, is this kind of a rebuild for Pitt? I mean, do they bounce back big next year maybe and have a better showing? And then the third real quick thing is the Pirates. Do you see them making any big moves, with like a pitcher? Or,
like spending or trading?
Yeah, well, I think getting. I mean, truthfully, I was even actually looking at what's the free agent from the Cubs, the pitcher.
Arrieta?
Yes, Arrieta. I mean, I know it's crazy, but why not?
I think they need to spend money on somebody. I don't know if I'd give it to him. Excuse me. I think his season, he's not as good as he once was. Excuse me on that. I'm going to go to break here just to get a swig of water, and I'll come back and talk about that, man. I appreciate it. Thanks. We'll get into that, Pitt and the Pirates, when I come back right after this.